All right, so let's jump right in. In the Bhagavad Gita, at the end of chapter 8, Krishna drops this pretty radical idea. He says that liberation, it's not decided by timing or death or some grand cosmic event. Nope, it's all about one thing: clarity. And now, as we get into chapter 9, he gives this clarity a couple of really fascinating titles.
He calls it the King of Knowledge. But then he immediately follows it up with the King of Secrets. And you gotta stop and think, wait a minute, that sounds like a total contradiction, doesn't it? If this is the knowledge that's supposed to set you free, to give you ultimate clarity, then how on earth could it be a secret?
So what's the deal? Is it hidden away somewhere, meant only for a select few? Well, that exact question is the whole reason Chapter 9 is here. And it's exactly what we're going to dive into.
Okay, so first things first, we have to totally rethink what the word secret even means in this context. It's not what you're probably picturing. You know, when we hear secret, we think of something locked in a vault, or maybe knowledge that's only for the elite, guarded by some secret society. But the reality here is something else entirely. A secret, in the Gita's terms, is just knowledge that a mind that's resisting it, just can't access. I mean, the text is right there. It's public. Krishna's speaking out loud for everyone. And that just flips the whole idea on its head, right? The barrier isn't some external locked door. It's internal. It's a closed door inside our own minds. The information is out in the open, but we're the ones who can't see it. This really gets to the heart of it. It's not that the truth is hidden from people, it's that people are hidden from the truth. So the game isn't about finding some hidden treasure, it's about changing ourselves so we can see what's already there. So what is this internal barrier keeping us hidden? Well, that brings us to the gatekeeper, the thing that keeps this knowledge a secret, and it's the ego. And here is where Krishna makes a point that can be, pretty uncomfortable. He says lots of people can hear the words, but very, very few will let that meaning actually sink in and touch their identity. And why is that? It's because this knowledge is a direct threat to the ego. It wants to dissolve that sense of I'm in charge, to take away the illusion that we're in control. And our minds, they instinctively fight to protect the reality they're comfortable with. So how does the mind do that? How does it protect itself? It tends to use one of three main strategies. First, it'll just dismiss it. That's nonsense, not for me. The second strategy is to intellectualize it. You can debate it, write essays about it, argue about the concepts for years, but you never actually let it change you. And the third way is to spiritualize it. Adopt the lingo, the look, the rituals, but on a superficial level, without any deep internal transformation. In all three of these scenarios, the words are heard, but the knowledge, it's never really received. And this is such a critical point. We tend to assume that the barrier to this kind of deep truth is about intelligence, right? That you have to have a super high IQ to get it. But that's not what the Gita says at all. The real barrier isn't brain power, it's egoic resistance. It's that deep-seated unwillingness to be vulnerable, to let go of what we think we know. And Krishna is super clear about this. He never says only the smart people will understand. What he does say is only the humble can receive it. See, the key isn't your intellect, it's your state of being. But what does that kind of humility even look like? What does it actually require from us? Well, it means letting go of this idea that you are the sole author of your life. It means surrendering that need to be better than everyone else. And maybe the hardest part, it means giving up that posture of, I already know. And that is really, really difficult to do psychologically, which is exactly why this knowledge stays secret for most people. Okay, so let's bring this home. How does this ancient wisdom connect to our lives today, right now? Honestly, it might be more relevant than it's ever been. I mean, just look around. We are absolutely drowning in information. It's everywhere. It's endless. But actual clarity, that deep, settled understanding, man, that is so incredibly rare. We have access to more data than any humans in history, but you could argue we have less genuine understanding of ourselves and how to live a meaningful life. Because the kind of clarity we're talking about here, it's not about knowing more stuff. It's the ability to see things as they actually are, without that constant filter of our ego, our personal fears, and all our wants and desires getting in the way. And you can see why that's so rare today, right? For one, our attention is just shattered into a million pieces. For another, our whole culture is set up to constantly reinforce the ego, build your personal brand, curate your identity. And our sense of self gets so wrapped up in how we perform and what our opinions are that we become allergic to anything that might challenge that.
So when you put all that together, you see why this ancient knowledge is still a secret. Not because anyone is hiding it, but because it is incredibly demanding. It asks for a level of inner honesty, a kind of sustained attention, and a genuine willingness to be wrong. And let's be real, that combination is pretty rare in our world.
So what's the big takeaway here? If you're going to remember one thing from all this, what should it be? It's this. The greatest secrets aren't being kept from you, they're being kept by you. We are the gatekeepers. The lock isn't on some door out there, it's on the inside, and so is the key. And that really leaves us with one final question. And this one isn't for me to answer, it's for you to think about. Are you willing to quiet your own mind, to practice that humility, and to lower the ego's defenses just enough to receive what is and what has always been offered freely to everyone?